What's up, everyone? So I just got back from seeing The Last Jedi, first showing, and I'm just going to say right away, spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Lots of them. So take that time now, hit the pause button if you have not seen this movie, because it's going to all get ruined for you if you just keep watching. So with that said, last chance, hit pause, go watch the movie. Here we go. So first up, I really like the movie. Obviously, it's going to take some time for things to sink in. I don't have the highest bar in general when it comes to movies, so I'm going to say that right away. Now, there was a fair amount of comedy to this one. I mean, even right away opening up with Poe doing a practical joke on the First Order and General Hux, which was pretty funny and kind of like a very Spaceballs-esque scene there. And then a moment later, you found out that really it was the stall technique, so that kind of helped in the scene, because otherwise it was starting to feel a little weird. Chewie cooking a porg I thought was hilarious, and the little one just kind of crying away as he's about to eat. Luke, after all this build-up, he gets handed the lightsaber. What's he going to do? What's he going to say? And they even replay, that moment, and in the end, he just chucks it over the shoulder and walks away. It was funny. I like that. I think overall with the comedy, like it for some, it was probably overdone. For me, we're 9 Star Wars movies in now. If some are going to vary a little bit in tone and whatnot, I don't mind that. We've got a lot more movies coming, so I don't mind that some, are going to maybe venture a little in one direction or another. I don't think it was overdone. I really liked Benicio del Toro's character in the movie. Very interesting guy. I did not see coming that he was going to sell them out and, cause more harm to the fleet. So that was a little surprising to see. Really, the whole time you're kind of not knowing which way this guy's going to go. But in the end, of course, he pulled one over on him, which leads to Finn and Captain Phasma fighting. That was pretty cool. I thought Canobite was a fun planet to visit in general, something a little bit different to see. I have to say, I'm not quite sure yet how I feel about the usage of Luke and Leia. No real training was done with her. I mean, he did eventually say, okay, I'll show you 3 things. He got to 2, and I certainly don't remember what the third one was, if that happened. But, of course, he catches her force communicating with Kylo Ren, which later we find out that was a setup from Snoke. But anyways, he walks in, gets all angry, and just force explodes the hut. And she's like, forget you, I'm out of here. And that's it. And then he whined for a while. I had a cool scene with Yoda. I loved seeing Yoda in this. That was really cool. Very well done. And it seemed like we were going to get some redemption from Luke, or I guess in the end we kind of got a little bit from cranky old Luke. He shows up on Crate, and kind of like this big hero moment. And I got to say right away, I was like, I knew right away it was a Force ghost. I mean, one, he just walks in from the back where everyone's trying to figure out how to get out, and never mind that while everyone's trying to figure out how to get out, they're also flying their ships and speeders to do battle. And then there's little trenches in the ground that everyone pops in on. It's like, how did you get there with the big door closed? And that was the only way in or out. But anyways, he shows up, and it's like, what, did he go for a haircut and dye his beard all of a sudden? It's like, clearly he's a Force ghost, but also clearly everyone can see him. So what now? Everyone can just see a Force ghost? And that was that's weird for me. I'm not really liking that so much, that it seems that a Force ghost is just an everyday being now, almost, that can interact with people. Clearly the whole First Order fleet saw him and tried to shoot him, and nothing happens to him. It's like, that was a little rough for me. I did like that Rey was no one. I did not need her to be a daughter of Han and Leia that was lost or given up or taken away, or a daughter of Luke and some other, unknown lady at this point. I like that she was just no one. To me, she didn't need to be anyone. Snoke didn't need to be anyone other than Snoke, or Rey other than Rey. That was just fine by me. I like that Kylo really threw that in her face, like all this buildup. Who is she? Where does she belong? What's her place? And in the end, he's just, you're no one. You're nobody. So I didn't mind that. Obviously, there was a lot of buildup to it. And I guess depending on what you wanted out of that ending is going to be how you felt about that reveal or a non-reveal, really. I liked the way Kylo Ren just took out Snoke. That Snoke didn't really see that coming. obviously, things can be clouded by the Force, and so I think Snoke was seeing what he wanted to see. He saw an action of a lightsaber going, being ignited and killing someone, and in the end, that was him. Really cool with the force pull of the lightsaber, just chopping his body in half. So that was really cool. And then, that leads to the big fight with Rey and Kylo Ren against the guards. I really like the use of the guards and their weapons. So that was really neat. And, for a brief moment, you're thinking maybe Kylo Ren is going to go good. And instead, he just decides now he's going to rule everything. So we've got him in charge of the First Order, and remains to be seen then in episode 9 what's going to happen with him. Does he continue to battle with his light and dark side, or is he just full on committed to leading the First Order now? And then on to Princess Leia. Now, sadly, in real life, Carrie Fisher has passed away, but on screen we still have Princess Leia. She survived the movie. I thought it was really a good scene where, Kylo held off on shooting, and instead his wingmen did. The bridge blows up. She gets sucked out of space, and then all of a sudden we're into comic book territory, superhero movie, like Superman out in space, and she floats back to the bridge. And I didn't like that. It wasn't Star Wars. And I get these are not real movies. I get that, but I feel like there's a basis of reality in every movie, and to me, I feel like this one broke that by having her survive floating in space and being frozen, and just kind of drifting down to the bridge. And I while it was a cool shot to see her floating along, to me, that wasn't Star Wars. It didn't belong in this movie. It was, that's Avengers or Superman or something, and it just took me out of a Star Wars movie. And then, of course, now we've got, what of Luke Skywalker now? He's dead, or as dead as a Jedi really is. I mean, he's presumably just a Force ghost, and I feel like he just decided to wisp away, and I don't, obviously, he seemed worn down from being this Force ghost, across the galaxy. But I don't know, at least to me, it didn't seem like there was any injury to doing that or something. It just seems like he sat there, he meditated, and just said, I'm done, I'm going to be a ghost now. And I don't know if that's just not knowing how they wanted to deal with him for going on further in the movies, or just felt like, we did Luke's story, he's done, they're just going to write him off in the sunset. So see how he's used in episode 9. I'm sure he'll be in it, because like I said, Force ghost, he's not dead, just in the physical being. So how he gets used in episode 9, I think will help further tell the story of him in episode 8 and where his growth goes from being just a cranky old man. So that wraps up my thoughts on it. Obviously, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to see it again tomorrow and need some more time to let more of this sink in of what I've seen and stuff. But that's some of my quick thoughts on it. I would really love to know your thoughts on it. We can chat in the comments below about some of what you guys were thinking on that maybe I just forgot to even touch on in this. But anyways, thanks for watching.